So good morning guys, good morning doc. So this will be our activity for today, CTG tracing and labor curve. Uh, Next slide please. So for CTG tracing 1, Gravida 1, para 0, 40 weeks, age of gestation came in for labor pain. So for our interpretation doc, the defined risk is low risk. For the contractions, 3 contractions in 10 minutes, duration of 1 minute with an interval of 3 minutes and MVU of 104 beats per minute. So the baseline heart rate is 140 beats per minute.
And for the variability, it is a moderate variability, and for the acceleration, it is present, and the deceleration is absent. So the overall impression is category 1, and for its management, it would be a routine monitoring.
Okay, for the CTG2 tracing, Gravida 2, para 1, 1001, 39 weeks age of gestation with previous cesarean section for cephalocaldal disproportion. So defined risk is high risk. Contractions is 2 contractions in 10 minutes, duration of 1 minute, interval of 2 to 3 minutes, and MVUs of 270 with baseline heart rate of 120 beats per minute and maximum impulse of 165 beats per minute. Variability is moderate variability with acceleration. Deceleration, having early decelerations and overall impression is category 1 and management is just routine monitoring. Next slide please. For CTG3, 30 years old, Gravida 3, Para 2, 2002, 34 weeks age of gestation, came in for watery vaginal discharges noted for 24 hours. So defined risk is low risk. Contractions, 7 contractions.
Why is it low risk?
Um, I doc, I think it's high risk doc since it what wala lang naman na edit doc. At 34 weeks the age of gestation doc and premature rupture of bag of water doc. So it should be high risk doc. I think namali lang nagsulat doc.
Should be high risk because the
Yes doc.
patient is term and then has watery vaginal discharge.
Sorry doc, we were not able to edit doc. And for the contractions, 7 contractions in 10 minutes, duration of 30 seconds, interval of 30 seconds to 1 minute, MVU of 95.
Uh, Contractions. Where are the contractions there?
Hmm. Doc, kaning, ano to, ka doc. This one doc, one, two,
Define contractions.
uh, contractions, uh, ano ka, um, contractions.
Other members, define contractions.
Can I try doc? Contractions, doc, is this is essential, doc, for the progression of labor, and they compress, um, I mean the vessels compress running inside the myometrium. So there could be a transiently decreased placental perfusion duct or cause umbilical cord compression.
How many MVU units you will consider it as a contraction?
Mm,
You're supposed to read that beforehand, not read it now. That's your assignment. Continue.
Um, then for baseline heart rate, 190 beats per minute, variability, minimal variability, absent acceleration, deceleration is recurrent variable deceleration. Overall impression is category 2. Next slide, please.
So for the category 2 management, it aims to improve fetal oxygenation and uteroplacental blood flow and steps to diminish uterine activity and relief of umbilical cord compression. So these are the following potential interventions: lateral decubitus positioning, administering maternal oxygen, and discontinue oxytocin or amnio infusion for variable decelerations.
Next slide, please. For CTG4 tracing, 40 years old, Gravida 5, Para 5, 5005, 36 weeks, came in for elevated BP and blurring of vision. So defined risk is high risk. Since there is elevated BP and blurring of vision, contractions, 2 contractions in 10 minutes, duration of 4 minutes, interval of 2 to 4 minutes, and MVU of 170. Baseline heart rate is 140 beats per minute. Variability is absent, as well as the acceleration and deceleration is late decelerations, and overall impression is category 4. Next slide, please.
What
So for the
category?
doc,
What category?
category 3 doc,
Why?
balik ko. Because uh, because there is late deceleration doc, and at the same time the patient is high risk doc.
Define late deceleration.
Um, Late deceleration doc, it is not a mirror image of the contraction doc. So um, the look for this doc. So if you can see doc as the um, for example doc, the fetal heart rate doc ay kay
How
mas
many
na
seconds
doc.
supposed to last? How many seconds it's supposed to last?
um
30 seconds,
Late
Doc.
fifth, uh,
Supposed to last less than 30 seconds. And
Yes,
how
Doc.
about that deceleration? How many seconds or minutes does it last?
um,
From the baseline heart rate, Doc, it's 140, and then we count.
doc.
Sige, Ate Din.
So for the late deceleration, doc, should should last for more than 15 seconds, doc. Then the baseline heart rate should be also more than 15 beats per minute, doc.
Um,
My point is how do you know that's a late decel versus a prolonged deceleration phase?
Doc, sa
There's a late deceleration and a prolonged deceleration. What's the difference?
um so we answer doc late decelerations doc since from the baseline heart rate it is 140. So we count it doc by 5 okay, 5 by 5 and then na we concluded doc na 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. Ay, sorry.
It doesn't matter
Okay.
pila ka beats per minute ang deep. What I'm asking is how long does your deceleration took place?
Um, for prolonged decelerations, doc, it will last more than 2 minutes, but less than 10 minutes from the onset to return to the baseline, doc.
Exactly from here to here. That's already more than 2 minutes.
Okay, doc. So it should be ano, doc, prolonged deceleration. Thank
From
you,
the
doc.
start here, from the start here up to here. That's already more than 2 minutes.
Okay, doc, noted, doc.
Uh, Next slide, rules. So for the management of category 3 doc, um, it aims
Hel
to
ay at
improve doc.
Sige, ate.
Ate Din, okay ra if ako na lang magpa-answer.
Thank you.
So for the management, for the management, the woman is moved to a lateral position, and then supplemental oxygen is provided at 10 liters per minute using a non-rebreathing mask. And oxygen administration is discontinued as soon as possible, uh, based on the fetal status. And usually, IV hydration at 500 to 1,000 ml of lactated ringers is given over 20 minutes. So
What
that
should you check for before hydrating the patient?
um, uh, again, Doc, I didn't get the
What
question.
should you watch out for, or what you should check for before hydrating the patient?
Doc, can I try to answer that, Doc? Um,
Okay.
first and all, Doc, we should measure our, we should take the vital signs of the patient, Doc, especially the BP of our patient, Doc.
Why? If the BP is low, you will not hydrate the patient, or if the BP is high, you will not hydrate the patient.
You can also get the weight, Doc,
Go back to
and
the case of the patient.
Doc. Mm,
Doc, is it the urine output, Doc?
I think, doc, it's because the patient is has preeclampsia, doc, and we can cause pulmonary edema if um since preeclampsia is predisposed to endothel- endothelial leakage. So we should also check for the presence of edema, doc, pulmonary edema, and the blood pressure.
You're complicating things already. You should check first the lungs of the patient. You check if there's any RALs, not edema derecho. They will not present with edema derecho. They will pass by congestion first. That's what you will check first before hydrating the patient, because patients who are hypertensive are prone to congestion before the edema. A patient will not go into edema directly. They will go to congestion before they will go to edema. That's what you should check out for. If the patient has clear breath sounds, that's when you hydrate. If the patient has rales, then you cannot hydrate the patient because the patient is already congested. You will add more insult to the patient. Next.
So for the labor curve, patient GT, 23 years old, G1 P0, 38 weeks, major gestation, came in due to labor pains and watery vaginal discharges for 8 hours. So i.e. upon admission for CM and 50% effaced and ruptured bag of water. So it was clear and vertex presentation and station -3. The progress of labor was monitored. IVTT antibiotics were started and uterine contractions and so were weak. Thus, oxytocin drip was started and titrated until adequate uterine contractions were achieved. So after 2 hours, repeat IE was done and was 6 cm and 50% effaced. So ruptured bag of water, likely stained, vertex, station 0. So oxytocin was continued. Then after 2 hours, repeat IE was 9 cm, 80% effaced, station +1. Then after an hour, patient kept on bearing down and thus repeat IE was done and was fully dilated. So patient was brought to the delivery room and delivered after 45 minutes. And a live baby girl, a cross score of 8 and 10, and a birth weight of 2,100 grams. So next slide. So the task was to graph the Friedman's curve, to plot the Friedman's curve. So um, the circles are for the station, and the circles with the X are for the dilatation. So since the patient came in with a station of -3 and a dilatation of 4 cm. So in the next 2 hours of IE, it was already 6 cm. Then another 2 hours, it was 9 cm. Then at the last hour, it was already fully dilated. So for the station, at first it was -3, -3, then station 0, then +1, then fully delivered. So basing on the normal patterns of labor, we interpret this graph doc as a normal labor pattern.
Okay, next. Only one Friedman's?
Yes, doc.
Okay, you study more on the CTG reading, huh? The different decelerations, the causes of different decelerations, what's category 1, what's category 2, and what's category 3. Okay, I will let you go early today because you have face-to-face exam. You have to be in school.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you,
Thank you
Doc.
so
Good Doc.
much,
Goodbye,
Doc.
Doc.
See you next meeting.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Doc.
Thank you, Doc. God bless, Doc.